starved Hamas, and we took Hamas and Hezbollah and all of the rest that I don't think we've ever seen where they kill babies. Just like I said years ago, we're going to turn Christmas around. Remember, the department stores they refused to use the word Christmas. They'd have red, they'd have everything perfect. I said, where's Christmas? Wonderful people one day. I didn't know you had flies in Iowa. I hate flies.
That was Donald Trump speaking in Iowa on Monday. He spoke in two separate locations. Let's discuss what went down. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. So earlier on Monday, a federal judge in Washington, D.C. imposed a limited gag order on Donald Trump that just precludes him from threatening the special counsel, the judge, and witnesses and family members of all of those parties. Donald Trump then went to Iowa, and you see there, I mean, yes, his speech is very dangerous. The things that he's saying are hateful, disparaging, very weird. But when you see also the slurring of his words, the profuse sweating, this is incredibly alarming in all aspects. Let me show you what else went down in these various speeches that he gave in Iowa. Here he is attacking federal judge Tanya Chutkan and lying that he is precluded from attacking President Joe Biden based on the gag order, when that's not what the gag order at all does. Here, play this clip.
A judge gave a gag order today. Did you hear that on speech? Which I believe is totally unconstitutional, what she did. A judge gave a gag order. A judge doesn't like me too much. Her whole life is not liking me. But she gave a gag order. You know what a gag order is? You can't speak badly about your opponent. But this is weaponry all being done because Joe Biden is losing the election and losing very, very badly to all of us.
Yeah, in fact, Special Counsel Jack Smith's team expressly stated that nothing in the gag order precludes him from engaging in any legitimate campaign activity, engaging in any attacks on President Biden. President Biden has nothing to do with the case. Special Counsel Jack Smith's team made very clear when Donald Trump's lawyers were trying to argue that they're being gagged in the campaign. They said, no, you're not. Say whatever he wants to say about President Biden. That's not about, there's nothing to do with this. So there's Donald Trump again, threatening the judge, attacking the judge. Here, Donald Trump says that if he were to be reelected, he would engage in mass deportations of communists and Marxists, and states that that includes lots of people in the Biden administration. Here, play this clip.
If you support Hamas or any ideology that's having to do with that, or any of the other really sick thoughts that go through people's minds, very dangerous thoughts, you're disqualified if you're a communist, a Marxist, or a fascist, other than the people that are already here, of which many are in the Biden administration. You're disqualified. I'd like to get them out too. Maybe we'll work on that next. In addition, we will aggressively deport resident aliens with jihadist sympathies. We have to. This isn't.
And I don't want it to be lost on us how dangerous it is what he is saying. We can't normalize that behavior. And it's like, first they came for this group, then they came for that group, then they came for me. And anyone who Donald Trump doesn't agree with, he calls a communist and a Marxist, dehumanizes them, treats them like cockroaches. And that's how atrocities happen to people. And for him to just speak this way without being checked, without legacy media saying that's dangerous and horrific. That's why the MeidasTouch network's growing the way it is. We look at that collectively as a community and go, not here, not in our great democracy. Here's Donald Trump while discussing deaths in Israel. He gets distracted by a fly and then proceeds to talk about how you can't buy fly paper anymore. Play the clip.
Who sympathize with this are sick. They're sick and they're evil and they're not going to be fixed. You're not going to make them into wonderful people one day. I didn't know you had flies in Iowa. I hate flies. Now, I'll get in trouble for saying that. Cruelty to animals. No, it's true. You know, I said the other day, I was at a place, and there's a beautiful place, but they had like flies. And I said, get fly paper. They said, sir, they're not allowed to sell it anymore because of cruelty to animals. They actually said that. I don't know. Can you get fly paper? It used to be great, right? But they said, you can't do that anymore, sir. It's cruelty. What the hell is going on with this country? But
next, Donald Trump starts talking about Christmas and says, we're going to turn Christmas our department store. He just starts slurring and merging all of his words into one. Play this clip.
used to be that was a wonderful thing. Today you take heat. We'll turn that around. Just like I said years ago, we're going to turn Christmas around. Remember, the department stores they refused to use the word Christmas. They wouldn't say Merry Christmas. They'd say Happy New Year. They'd have red. They'd have everything perfect. I said, where's Christmas? And by the time we finished, they all had Christmas up there. But
next, Donald Trump describes Afghanistan and the withdrawal as the most boring and horrible situation. I'm pretty sure that the teleprompter didn't say boring. Play the clip.
Never happened. Afghanistan, the way that took place was the most boring and horrible situation. Nobody's ever said anything.
Again, more slurring of the words, more fear-mongering. And here he talks about Hamas and keeps saying hummus, hummus. Play the clip.
I withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal, crushed the murderous Iranian regime with sanctions, and starved Hamas. And we took Hamas and Hezbollah and all of the rest. We took
another location where Donald Trump gave the speech in Iowa. Here he says again, they put a gag order on me. They put a gag order on me. I'm not allowed to talk about things that bad people do. And again, like, ooh, no, what are you talking about? The gag order just says you can't attack and threaten the judge, the prosecutor, and witnesses. It's limited to that. Yet he goes around just whining. Here, play this clip.
But no, they put a gag order on me, and I'm not supposed to be talking about things that bad people do. And so we'll be appealing very quickly. But, you know, people understand it. And normally if you get indicted, if you're a politician, I've watched it for years, they get indicted and they walk to a microphone about 4 minutes later. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be leaving office to fight for my reputation and spend time with my family. I love my family so much. You know, that they're out, they're gone. With me, I have a big platform so I can explain things. But
here Donald Trump engages in more whining about the gag order, and then compares himself to Al Capone and starts bragging about Al Capone. Here, play this clip.
I mean, just lasting another year is almost impossible to think with the weaponized elections and all the stuff they do. Today, a judge put on a gag order. I'll be the only politician in history that runs with a gag order where I'm not allowed to criticize people. Can you imagine this? Do you believe this? I'm not allowed to criticize people. So we'll see. We'll appeal it, and we'll see. But it's so unconstitutional. The good thing is we have so much support. It's incredible. And it just makes it even more so. Look, I'm the only guy that ever got indicted. I got indicted more than Alphonse Capone. Did anyone ever hear of Al Capone? If you looked at him the wrong way, he was seriously tough, right? Scarface. You know, they call him Scarface. Had a little scar in there. I'm sure it was a minor accident.
And here Donald Trump attacks our generals and says that he thinks that our generals are some of the dumbest people he's ever met. Play this clip.
And one of them said to me, Millie, he said, sir, it would be cheaper if we left everything. I said, where does this guy come? Where does he come from? A brand new airplane cost $128 million, right? I said, you mean you think it's cheaper to leave it than to fill it up with a little fuel, and fly it the hell out to, even if you just fly it to Pakistan, then you bring it back home or you fly it back home. Most of them can make that journey, right? Oh, it's better to leave it there. I don't want to tell you what I had to go through with these people. Some of the dumbest people I've ever met in my life. But we have.
Okay, contrast that with a speech that President Biden just gave. Here's President Biden talking about the threat of anti-Semitism and also the attacks on Israel. And play this clip.
Why I took my kids, everyone when they turned 14 years old, one at a time, put them on a plane and took them to Dachau. I wanted them to see that you could not know what was going on walking through those gates. You could not fail to understand as a country what was going on. And that's a fact. It had a profound impact on my children and my grandchildren. Some thought taking a 14-year-old grandchild was not a mistake, but I took them one at a time. I got 3 more to go. And folks, it's important. You know,
here's President Biden on 60 Minutes, where he's asked, can the United States help our allies on multiple fronts? Watch his response. Play the clip.
Are the wars in Israel and Ukraine more than the United States can take on at the same time?
We're the United States of America, for God's sake. The most powerful nation in the history, not in the world, in the history of the world. The history of the world. We can take care of both of these and still maintain our overall international defense.
Folks, I think it's just important that we reflect again how disturbing, how dangerous Donald Trump's words and conduct are, how disqualifying that behavior is. I don't care. It shouldn't be a political party thing. It should just be a American people thing when we look at that and go, what? I mean, I know international community of democracies looks at that, and I know how you tell me all the time. I know. It is so important that you spread these messages, you share these videos, and you say, look at that. And look at what President Biden is saying and doing. It's not even close, and I don't even view it through a political prism. I view it through the prism of our Constitution. I view it through a prism of our love of democracy and normalcy. That's how I view it. How do you view it? Share in the comments below. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers. And check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Have a great day.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.